Welcome back. In previous videos we've looked at how to clean up your data and how to sort it. In this video we're going to look at how to filter it. So basically, in order to do this, let me put the data back in its original format. Here it's sorted by best year to worst year. So I can just sort that back by selecting the data and just saying data sort range. It has a header row. I want it sorted A to Z by year. Well, let's go Z to A, most recent year first. Okay, there we go. Now what we'd like to be able to do is filter this. A filter is a way to obtain a view of the data that only includes the data that meets certain criteria. So in this case, I'm going to click anywhere in the block of data, the body of data. I don't want to be out here. I want to be anywhere in here. It doesn't really matter. And you've got a filter tool right here. You turn that on and you're going to find these little inverted triangles next to each of your rows. And if I do that, I can simply say things like I would like to see any data. Okay, I'm going to clear it. So these are all checked by default because I have all the data. I'm going to clear that and just say I want to see anything that has 10 wins. And there you go. 2010, 7 to 1997, 1988, 1985. Okay, great. Now I don't have to do just one. If I go back in there, I could say I'd like to see scores where we had seasons where we had 10, 11, or 12 wins. So I check those three, and there they are. Now, you know, from me sorting, we could go back and sort this by number of wins, and that would group the 11s together, and it would group the 10s together, etc. If we're done with a particular view, we can always come back here and say select all, and it'll just show us everything. So it wasn't deleting anything, it was just hiding it from us. Let's look at another way to do this. With wins, I am going to say filter by condition, and the condition is, in this case, let's say data is greater than 9. So I want only the seasons where they had 10 or more wins. Now before I do that, notice in here I did have a greater than or equal to, so I could have used that and changed it to 10. Lots of different ways I can set this. There's a is between, will let you give two values. Is not between will let you exclude certain values. And of course there are certain things that apply directly to dates or apply to text, etc. And then you can also do a custom formula. So you can play around in there and see what your options are there. Okay, so this is greater than 9. I'm going to say OK. And if you look through this list, you will find nothing 9 or less. That's fine. And this is great. So I have this data, but I also want to see seasons in which they scored a certain number of points. So let me do filter by condition again. And I'm going to say this time greater than or equal to 300 points. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And when I filter by 300 points, greater than or equal to 300 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it really only eliminated one season. I mean, that would probably tell me that if you want to have, a winning season, that you probably need to score at least 300 points. And of course, you could have the students go in and do more in-depth analysis. Okay, they could kind of figure out what's the average number of wins that you need to probably make the playoffs. If you did that, you could then search basically for how many points you should expect to score. You can check that against the points for and points against. So if I were to, let me take the filters off, and I can do that in a variety of ways. Easiest way is just to click that and get everything back. I'm going to insert a column to the left and just say difference here, and I'm basically going to take equals points for minus points against, and the other team scored 43 more points than the Giants scored in this year. If I copy that down, of course, it will calculate it for all my fields. So perhaps it's not the total number of points that matters. Perhaps it's the difference that matters. But these are questions that you can get students to come up with in their analysis. See if anybody kind of clues into this, that the best measure might not be points. Perhaps as a defensive team doesn't need as many points. Big offensive team can score a lot of points, but if they can't stop the other team, they're not likely to win games. Things like that. And of course, that we're applying this to sports, to football statistics, but that type of thinking can really be applied just about anywhere. As a matter of fact, I find that once I get a block of data and start playing with it and calculating with it and comparing it, it almost always leads to questions. And then we use the data to pursue those questions, obtain more questions, etc. So a great example, a great way to use this scientific process to use data to form theories, and then see if those theories play out over time.